Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Retroplay. Today I'm going to be showing you Jump Ultimate Stars for the Nintendo DS, and I spent a lot of time with this game and its precursor Jump Superstars. Now, the jump thing I didn't really understand until I had a Google of it. I'm not the hugest anime fan, just as a disclaimer, so if I do say anything that's kind of off-putting or weird, then do excuse that. But essentially, it's a comic series that's run weekly in Japan called Shonen Jump. And each of the comics and characters that you're seeing in the game have been in that comic series at some point. And I recognize a few of the characters here, like right now you're seeing the guy from One Piece, I don't know his name, and also it's got some Naruto characters, and I think it's got some Bleach characters a bit later on in the game as well. I didn't get that far. It's quite a large game, so there's a hell of a lot to do in it. But essentially, this is a fan translation of the game. Now, this game is not available to buy in English at all. From what I understand, there's lots of licensing issues because different companies have been buying the rights to the different, TV shows and comic books for these characters in North America. In order for this game to actually work, you would need to get all of those companies to get involved and collectively say, yes, this is okay, you can release this video game. In addition to contacting the company in Japan. That's a lot of work, and a lot more work that I guess people are willing to put in. So, those wonderful people out there on the internet decided to fan translate the game, which means they've patched it into lots of English. Now, it's not 100%, as I'm sure you're going through. You will see some Japanese writing on the screen, just as you do there. And yeah, that's kind of the limitations of doing this. But as you can see on the bottom screen of the DS there, they have at least translated all the little catchphrases from the characters, is what I'm guessing those are, into English. So it does provide a pretty decent experience. The main story of the game isn't translated. To be honest, from what I can gather of it, it's a bunch of bollocks anyway. It's some evil guys that are invading the comic book universe, and all the comic book heroes have to stop them. I still don't understand why they're fighting each other, but I don't care. This is one of the most fun games I've ever played on the Nintendo DS. As far as the kind of combat itself goes, it's really solid. I've had so much fun with it. The way you kind of get the new characters as you go on. So each mission is slightly different. And so when you're playing the missions, it'll give you different objectives. Some of them you can, it's one death and then the game is over. Some of them it's multiple deaths and whoever kind of gets the most points at the end of the game is the winner. Kind of a little bit like the PlayStation Battle Royale, if anyone's played that. And so when you do win levels, there are lots of different extra criteria as well. So, if you complete the level in less than 20 seconds, you'll get like a bonus mark. And that allows you to earn more character tiles for the bottom screen. Which is a really cool feature, because it totally allows you to customize what you've got there, how many characters you're using, how many of the little additional characters you can call into battle, how many status effects, little icons that are down there. I mean, it's so customizable. I can't say any more good things about this game. It's amazing. Actually, unlike the PlayStation Battle, it kind of sucked. I really didn't have a lot of fun with that game. I thought there were a lot of characters I didn't even recognize, and I've played the majority of kind of big PlayStation 3 games. Now that's where you see all the different criteria, so it looks like I beat 4 of the 5 criteria for that level. And what was popping up there was just saying, hey, you know, you've got some extra tiles to use for next time you want to build a deck, which is really cool. Now, as far as the characters in the game, there was a couple that I was actually quite surprised at. First of all was Dragon Ball. I watched that stuff on Cartoon Network as a kid, and I wasn't the biggest fan, but you know what? Sometimes on a Saturday marathon, when you've got nothing better to do, sure, let's watch Dragon Ball Z. And so there's a lot of those characters in there, which is nice. You know, it's nice to have some familiarity with those things at least. The second one that I was really surprised about was Yu-Gi-Oh! Yes, you can play as Yu-Gi-Oh! in this game. And I thought that was some card game. Yeah, there he is, on screen right there. I thought it was just some card game for kids. I mean, I'd heard about the card game first before anything else when I was young. But hey, maybe that's just me. As far as actually playing the game goes, you know, you've got your kind of fighting game standards, your double jumps, you've got, as far as the attacks go, you've got a weak attack, a medium attack, and then a special attack. The special attack will use the bar in the top left, and you can pick up little icons and, you know, hit people and get hit, and that boosts the bar as well. Which move you do tends to depend on which direction you're pressing on the directional pad. This is one of the few fighting games I've played where it's more useful to press the actual command button without a direction first, and then go into different directions to try and get combos going. A couple of characters are really good at kind of air juggles and combos of that sort as well. So that can be a lot of fun to play around with. The only criticism I would maybe have is that you have to hold down to block. Now, I understand that you've got characters coming from you from both sides, and so, you know, holding left or right isn't really going to work, because you can't choose exactly which direction to block from. But I don't know why they didn't follow games like Super Smash Bros. In just having a button for it. You know, if they just chose one of the shoulder buttons, the L or the R, you know, that would have been fine by me. But apart from that, the fighting engine's really solid, and you can have so much fun with it. Now, as far as actually progressing through the game, you go to the different worlds of the different comic books that are featured in the game, and you do a few missions on each world, and then eventually you unlock a boss and progress to, like, the next galaxy, which holds the next kind of bunch of levels. And so if you're looking specifically for your favorite characters, you might not get those until a bit later in the game. I know the Bleach series, and from playing this before, I know that it does feature quite a lot later in the game. What we're seeing here right now is one of the little boss cutscenes. I'm guessing that guy is unhappy that you beat the boss level. And then you'll see in a second, we're going to progress to the next galaxy after it saves. And then we're going to see the next bunch of levels. That's me. What am I doing? Okay. Yeah, there's the warp gate. And now you're going to see all the different levels. Let's see what there is. There's the Naruto, that guy, wow, bo. Tennis, football, basketball, done. Aside the Naruto stuff. So each world that you visit does give you a cool little, like, comic book intro. You know, I'm guessing these are like highlights from the actual comic book, because they look pretty decent, these slides, and I recognize maybe some of that. Like I said, I'm really not the biggest anime fan. If you are an anime fan, like, I'm sure this is just heaven for you. Because it just seems to have all of the most, like, popular guys from the last sort of 10-15 years almost. Because I remember I used to watch Naruto when it was fairly new, and yeah, I quite enjoyed it, but I was young at the time, you know. I'm what, 28 now. I think it came out when I was in my mid-teens, like maybe 16 or so. And so yeah, you know, it was fun for me to watch them. Now, so yeah, back to progressing through the game. When you do progress through the game, you get to unlock the different characters that you can actually take online. If you have a physical copy of this, you can actually take the game online and Wi-Fi battle with other people around the world. Exactly how many people use that right now, I shudder to think. If it's anything like old Xbox games, then that'll be no one. But saying that, it's often quite fun to play with friends. So if you know anyone else with it, you know, you can arrange to go on at the same time, which is good. And what I do like about the kind of visual style of this game is it's got that comic book style. You know, it's the pixel art. It's got the comic book intros, and the bottom screen that you can touch to bring up the different characters is really, really cool. That's a great feature, and I think that, you know, I'm surprised that hasn't been ripped off in other games, to be fair, because it's such a wonderful little interface, just changing characters on the fly like that. And bringing up the special attacks on that screen as well. It's just fantastic. Kind of reminds me of some other DS fighters, like there's a Bleach game, I think they made 2 for the DS, and you can select kind of special attacks by using the touchscreen as well, but this takes that so much further. Saying that, there are a couple of good little other fighting games on the DS, such as the Bleach game, that is really quite a solid fighting game. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like super balanced or anything. There's a lot of infinite combos, and there's a lot of little exploits you can do in this as well. But, you know, for a DS game that you can just play for 10 minutes on the train or something on the go, you can't really beat it. And what is cool, actually, is some of the variety in the missions. You know, it's not just straight fighting. This mission we're playing right here, this one is for picking up the bells, which I think happened in the anime show as well. But there's a few different types of this. So essentially you have to pick up the bells and just hang on to them for, I think, like 20-30 seconds. For God's sake. So yeah, you know what? There's a lot going on in this game. Lots of fun to be had. And to be honest, it's probably the best kind of melee game that I have played outside of Super Smash Bros. Super Smash Bros. Is great, and I think that's why it's such a big deal when a new one comes out. But this one I just had so much fun with. It's really solid. It's really addicting trying to get the new pieces and the tiles to complete like bigger characters. Like if you notice on the bottom screen, you can see that Naruto and the guy from One Piece are made up of like 4 of the little squares. Like you see the guys below that take up 1 square. These guys are made up out of 4. Now, when you progress through the game, you can get bigger, kind of stronger versions of the characters that take up, you know, 5, 6, 7, and I think even 8 now. Squares, and they all have like different special moves. So Naruto gets his kind of weird sage powers or something and can do some green stuff. I don't know. Do some green stuff. Everyone needs to do some green stuff once in their lives. I know I did. But one thing I am excited about is this game actually has a sequel coming out. That's right, folks. There's a sequel coming out on the PlayStation 3 and the Vita, I think. I'm gonna have to double check that, I guess. But I definitely saw a trailer at some point, and it looks just fantastic. They've gone into 3D for it, and to be honest, like if they keep the level of the quality, I guess, of the fighting up, then it's going to be one of the best little melee fighters ever, I think. Oh, so, by the way, what I'm doing here is essentially I'm just trying to make a brand new deck. So this is how you can construct them. You see there's a little column that's got like 1s and 4s in it. Those are showing you what the different characters you have are, and whether it's like a full character, or whether it's something else. Now, every deck needs to have at least one character, one status support character, and one special attack character. So, the single ones like I'm putting on there right now are status effect characters, so you can get extra effects from having those guys surround and like with the arrows facing toward that character, meaning it's associated with him. And why not? Let's put all the One Piece people around him. And let's put that guy, Kakashi, with Naruto. I think that's about it. So I'll put on mine that's the special. So what the special does is if you tap that during battle, Goku will come out and do giant fireball against someone else, which is kind of useful. Some are definitely better than others. You can get some that are like 3 tiles as well. Those tend to be the better of those, but there are some pretty cool special attacks you can get. And you can kind of mix them up with your own moves and like double team people. It's really fun to do that. But I certainly am looking forward to the next game, as I was saying. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. You know what? It could even be out already. I could be totally wrong and miss the boat on that one. But the other thing that's kind of fun about this game is, you know, there's a lot of similarities to kind of old games that I used to love. For example, Power Stone. You know, you beat people up, get gems, power yourself up, and then kick some ass, and when you go superstar. It's kind of the same with this. There are some levels where you have to collect multiple things, like there's one on the Dragon Ball level, where you have to collect all 7 of the Dragon Balls and kill people until you do. In addition, by killing people, they drop power-ups, so they drop like little tokens that raise your super bar, and little icons that can make you move a bit faster. And there's traps as well, so like sometimes you'll open up a chest, oil can, and it'll just kind of go crazy, and like this one with flying explosions everywhere. I mean, it's really a lot of fun for that. And so when you kind of have that retro feeling to a game, it definitely helps, I think. Oh, this is going quite well. Bloody hell. I mean, just the kind of chaos that can happen in one game is just amazing. I adore playing this. I played this probably for about a couple of hours just to get, you know, past the tutorials and to a point where I was hoping to have some upgraded characters at least, but I haven't really collected any of the bigger tiles yet, which is kind of weird. Maybe I need to look into that. I have to admit, I definitely played more of the original, the Jump Superstars, than I did this one. I did actually finish the original, which was great. This one I'm not so sure on, because I didn't play it fully. But, you know, I decided to go through the game and get up to some levels where, you know, we can see some more advanced stuff and some more difficult battles, certainly. One note about the music in the game is that, I mean, it's alright. You kind of get used to the tunes. I don't think any of the themes are from the actual shows, just because I think on the Naruto levels, although it sounds kind of in context, like, you know, it sounds like music that could be in that TV show, I don't think it is. So for any fans of the music of the TV shows and stuff, nah, you're going to be a little disappointed there. But all in all, you know, the music's fine. Once again, once again, you know, I've had so much fun with this game. I definitely recommend picking it up. Sorry if the video has been a little stretched or anything. I am working on getting some more video solutions going on for this, because I'm having a lot of fun making these videos. So much so that, in fact, one time this week I'm going to get one of my friends over to start a new series, which is going to be called the Bad Sports Games series. We're going to be playing pretty dodgy sports games from the Mega Drive Genesis era, and even before that on the NES and the Master System, which is where I believe that a lot of the really bad sports games came from. I remember playing a Wimbledon 1 tennis game on the Master System with friends as a kid. I wonder how that stacks up, as we certainly had a lot of fun with it, but I don't know if that really stands up today. Anyway, I am probably going to leave my video here. For God's sake. Yeah, definitely going to leave the video here, as I am dying horribly. And I will see you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of your day now.